Hey everyone, I'm Mike from theparkprodigy.com, and on today's video we're going to break down some of the updated tips and tricks for visiting Universal Orlando in 2023 and beyond. And we actually did a complete video on the best tips and tricks for visiting Universal Orlando in general earlier this year, and the video did really well. However, there have been some major updates over at Universal Orlando in the last couple of months, so we just wanted to kind of create a follow-up video just to keep everyone as up to date as possible as they get ready for their next Universal Orlando vacation. As always, I'm really excited for this video, so let's go get started. Thank you all again so much for checking out this video. Like I said, we are about to break down some of the best updated tips and tricks for visiting Universal Orlando. This one's kind of going to be a hybrid, more so tips and tricks, and then also breaking news to keep an eye out for as you're visiting the parks in these coming months and really years, right? So we're going to kind of jump in and we're going to do some general tips and tricks. And if you're watching the Park Prodigy channel, you might have heard some of these, maybe some of them are new, but we're going to start with our favorite, and that is early park admission. And again, we've been saying this for a while, but if you are planning to take advantage of early park admission, specifically over at Islands of Adventure Park, we highly recommend that you arrive 1 hour before early park admission even starts. And essentially, this will just allow you to be some of the first guests onto Hagrid's Magical Creatures Motorbike Adventure or the Jurassic World Velocicoaster. Now, if you're going over to Universal Studios Florida, it isn't as popular for early park admission. You could probably bring that back to like 45 minutes, 30 minutes, right? And still get onto Escape from Gringotts with relatively low wait times. But with that being said, those are our recommendations for early park admission and just something to keep in mind. All right, moving over to your tickets, keep an eye out for ticket deals. At the time of the recording of this video, Universal is still running a deal where it's buy 3 days and you get 2 days free. And I'll be very upfront with you guys, it has been a little slow from a travel standpoint over at the theme parks, right? So my honest opinion is we might see some more deals in the coming months. Now, of course, I can't guarantee that, but of course, with that being said, when it comes to Universal Orlando, they're always more than likely to run deals when compared to, let's say, Walt Disney World. And we actually did a complete guide on all the vacation packages, so you can kind of get a feel for the vacation package deals if you're looking for a hotel and ticket, kind of bundle and save. We'll leave a link to that video in our show notes. But again, just important, keep an eye out for the deals. Don't pull the trigger and just buy the first ticket that you see. Kind of, shop around a little bit and get a feel for what's out there. All right, moving over, and with the summer coming up as of the time of recording of this video, if you're visiting Volcano Bay, especially during those summer months, we highly suggest you visit during a weekday. One of the main reasons is Volcano Bay, in my opinion, is the best water park in Orlando, and a lot of the Florida locals know that. So during the weekends when everyone's off from work, a lot of families will go and visit the water park. So keep that in mind, and it is important to note that Volcano Bay can reach capacity, and that's why this is such an important tip and trick. And we say visit during a weekday if you are trying to visit Volcano Bay. If you can't, and if you have to visit during a weekend, no problem. We would just say to, again, take advantage of early park admission. Some people might not know that Volcano Bay does have early park admission. It's not an hour, it's a half hour, but with that being said, if you show up early and do the right thing, it just gives you a better chance of getting into the park. All right, next, this is an oldie but goodie, and make sure you download the Universal Orlando app. But taking it one step further, if you do forget, make sure that you go and hop on that free Wi-Fi that Universal Orlando has, and that will make it easier for you to download the parks. Not only that, make it easier just for you to navigate the app while you're over in the theme parks, especially when you're waiting on rides, you might lose service, stuff like that. All right, over to the next one. This is a fun one. If you're celebrating a special event, let's say a birthday, make sure you go stop at one of the ticket booths or guest relations and grab a happy birthday button, first visit button, or I'm celebrating button. And you can grab them, like we said, at any of the booths or over at guest relations. Just a fun way to kind of add, to the magic going on within the parks. Okay, so the next tip and trick that we have, and we would say if you're shopping around for the Universal Express passes, of course, make sure that you take a look at the Universal combo tickets for the Express Pass. We did another video on that, kind of breaking down how much of a savings the combo ticket can be, especially if you're looking to get the Universal Express Pass for a couple of days and you're not looking to stay at one of the Universal Premier Resorts, which of course include that Express Pass for free. But if you are shopping for the Express Pass, we would also say take a look at the VIP tour, because what a lot of families might not realize is that the VIP tour actually does come with the Universal Express Pass for after the tour, and it also comes with things such as free lunch and valet parking, right? So when you break down the numbers, it could be slightly more, but with that being said, slightly more, but you get such a better experience, in my opinion. So again, we're just trying to make sure take a look at all your options as you're planning your trips and make sure that you get the most bang for your buck. We're going to break down some of the things going on in the individual parks at this point. Moving over to Islands of Adventure, and there's some breaking news that Poseidon's Fury will be closing as of May 9th. So if you are planning, a trip at this point, and by the time we get this video out, it's probably going to be after May 9th, 2023. So Poseidon's Fury, unfortunately, is going to be closed. So you'll just keep that in mind as you're coming up with your park plans and you're making the list of all the rides and attractions that you want to go on. This was a classic, kind of 90s corny show in the parks, and we are sad to see it go. But with that being said, just be prepared and have that kind of game planned. All right, and then moving over, kind of jumping back over to the Universal Express Pass and going over to the Jurassic World Velocicoaster. The Jurassic World Velocicoaster is now included with the Express Pass. So again, kind of game planning and taking this into account. If you plan to go for early park admission, you can get everyone up early, get the kids dressed, go over to the theme parks and at the crack of dawn, and essentially that's not enjoyable for you if you're the family that likes to sleep in. Know that now if you do have the Universal Express Pass, you can go and kind of take advantage of the Velocicoaster now with that pass, right? Same thing on the flip side. If you're kind of trying to figure out, well, hey, do I need the Express Pass? Do I not? We just want to go on the Velocicoaster or some other rides. Again, take advantage of early park admission if Islands of Adventure is open and the Velocicoaster is included in the early park admission. Okay, so moving over to Universal Studios Florida, and this is really the park that has the most going on at this point in time. And of course, some really, really exciting news. Universal did, to be expected, did announce recently that Halloween Horror Nights will be back this fall. So they released tickets, they released the vacation packages. So if you are planning a trip for Universal Studios and you do want to take advantage of Halloween Horror Nights, you can absolutely start planning your trip to the parks at this point in time. And then one of the other really, really cool things that we have coming, and it's going to be coming really, really soon, is going to be on the lookout for the Minion Cafe and also VillainCon Minion Blast, which is a new attraction opening soon. And so essentially the whole front of Universal Studios Florida will change to Illumination Avenue, featuring the Minion Cafe and the new attraction called VillainCon Minion Blast, which from what we can see is an interactive attraction where you can blast minions and earn points to join the Vicious Six. And then moving over to another tip and trick that we've talked a lot about on this channel, and that is the Universal Studios Tribute Store. Now, not only do we highly recommend that you check out the Tribute Store because we think it's a really, really cool experience when you're in the parks, but just a quick note that the Tribute Store has actually moved over and then is now over in the Hollywood area of the park. So be sure to keep that in mind, as you're visiting during the holidays, during the summer, and of course during Halloween Horror Nights. Okay, next one on the list, and that would be try out Cafe La Bamba. All right, so Cafe La Bamba recently reopened and is kind of like a quick service, kind of like Chipotle style restaurant. Now, it is completely mobile ordering, but it is a good option for lunch, especially when we went, it wasn't very crowded, right? So I kind of enjoy that, especially when you're in a crowded theme park. It's kind of good to get away from the crowds, especially a big shout out to my introverts out there. But we did feel for the quick service, we thought that the food was good, and we just felt like it was another good option, another good food option to add to the Universal Studios Florida park. Of course, we do have the Minions Cafe coming soon, but with that being said, don't sleep on Cafe La Bamba. Okay, so the next one, this is a big shout out to my adults visiting Universal Orlando, and at Ches Alcatraz, located in San Francisco, you can get a viral ocean attack drink and some other adult beverages. Now, the cool thing about this is over at the Jaws inspired bar, and a lot of people are kind of snapping a picture with Jaws himself right after they grab that drink. Make sure you look up above the photo studio to see remnants of the Jaws ride, and you'll see essentially the Amenity Island sign. Okay, moving over to Diagon Alley, and another great tip and trick that I don't think we've given on this channel before would be to visit Diagon Alley right before the park closes. And one of the main reasons is Diagon Alley is really kind of situated in the back of the park, so a lot of families will kind of hit that kind of in the middle of the day as they're making their way around in a giant circle, right? Harry Potter and the Escape from Gringotts is one of the most popular rides in Universal Studios Florida. So one of the ways to get on this ride, if you don't hit it for early park admission, where really, really low wait times, would be to hit it last thing at night, kind of right before the park closes. And then moving over to some of the cool, photo ops. If you want to walk through platform 9 3/4, make sure you take the Hogwarts Express from Universal Studios Florida over to Islands of Adventure, and of course, don't forget that you do need the park-to-park ticket, but that photo op is very, very cool, and the kids will really enjoy it. All right, this is another good one that we've given before, but just important to note, especially with the summer coming up. Ice water is free at quick service locations, so be sure to ask and cut down on your water spending, but of course, taking it one step further, staying hydrated while in the parks, especially in the hot Florida sun, is so important. So make sure that you stay hydrated and get those free ice cups of water. Okay, and then over to the next one. Don't forget that ET is still open. So with the demolition of the Kid Zone kind of going on in in the back. And again, like we said, there's a lot going on at Universal Studios Florida right now, and we do have even more new attractions coming for the kids in the coming months and years. But it's important to keep in mind that ET is still open. So if you're traveling with your parents, with your grandparents, right, anyone that might have visited Universal Orlando in the 90s, you're going to want to be sure to take them over to ET and check out this classic Universal ride. And then, of course, last but not least, a big change coming to the nighttime show, and the Universal Cinematic Celebration ended in the Lagoon. So there's currently no nighttime show at this time. However, we're hoping to get some news in the coming weeks and months about something that could potentially replace this nighttime show to keep us all busy at night. All right, last but not least, over to Universal City Walk. And again, this is just in general. We would say if you're visiting during some of the busier times of year and you're visiting for a couple of days, make sure you plan a lunch reservation. And we would say that the best restaurants in Universal Orlando really are in City Walk. Make sure you plan a lunch reservation to take a break from the crowds and again from the heat, and you can kind of go cool off and get some good food. Some of our favorite restaurants are going to be Antojitos. Again, huge shout out to Crystal on my team. She had to put Twosome's Chocolate Emporium on this one, but of course they are famous for their famous milkshakes. And then my personal favorite is going to be Cowfish. So those are some of the best restaurants, some of the things to keep in mind. And that is the list, everyone. That is the updated tips and tricks, really breaking news video at this point in time for Universal Studios Orlando. So if you are in the process of planning a Universal trip, be sure to keep all those tips and tricks in mind as you get ready for your family vacation. And if you do need a little more additional help, just be sure to go check out our website, theparkprodigy.com, or subscribe to our YouTube channel, as we have a lot more similar videos just like this coming out in the coming weeks. But thank you again so much for checking out this video, and until next time, I will talk to you soon.